Anger and rage have been two of the most powerful emotions that I've ever had to deal with in this lifetime. My name is Hazel and I'm the founder of Spiritual Mastery, and I'd just like to share with you a little story about my life. When I was about 39, my life changed completely. And I didn't realise how angry and enraged I was about the feelings within me that this change brought up. My body wasn't reacting as I was used to. I was getting all these weird sensations in my body that I didn't like at all. And there was a kind of suppression within me that I just couldn't put my finger on what this emotion might be. So one day I sat down in front of my computer and just started tapping away at the keys, trying to unlock this energy that was in me, trying to get it to speak to me. So I just started typing up a lot of nonsense, really, and suddenly I was banging on the keyboard and typing out the words rage, rage, rage in big, bold, black capital letters. I was really astonished that this feeling in me was rage. So out of touch with it was I, this anger that had turned into rage. I couldn't believe it. But once I'd unlocked it, out it all flowed. It was truly like molten lava flowing through my spine and coming out of my mouth. I was astonished at the power of it and the visual image that I got. So this was no good. This was only harming me. Oh, I knew perfectly well who the rage was aimed at in my relationships. I knew perfectly well, but it was no good to express that level of rage to another human being. I knew it was my stuff, and I knew I had to reframe it, and I knew it was powerful. So this took about 20 minutes from start to finish, first clicking on the computer keyboard and getting to the state of I was beginning to let my rage out. I was literally screaming it out, really bringing it up from the bowels of my body, up and out, so that I could get to grips with it. Now from that, I learned that anger and rage serves no one. It is just pure, raw energy that needs to be transformed and channeled. And then it came about that I would get extremely angry about animal abuse, child abuse, the government leading us down a merry path. And I soon realised again that was my stuff. The pain, the anger caused by the visual of the animal abuse, the child abuse, and the government fleecing us all. How was I going to handle this anger, this rage? The answer was to go within, deep within, to make the unconscious conscious became my mantra around these issues, and where I was placing the anger and the rage, which was on animal abuse, child abuse, and the government fleecing us, I had to step right back because it wasn't constructive. It wasn't helping any of the situations. As I worked through all of these events and circumstances and feelings within me, I came to a place of peace, understanding that I could do a lot to help animals, coming from a place of love and pure understanding. I could do a lot about child abuse by coming from a place of pure love and understanding, not only understanding the child that was abused, but the perpetrator of the abuse too. Now, I am clairvoyant and I see energy and I understand the bigger picture. I understand and know that each human and each animal, each soul comes in onto this planet with a bigger picture. Now, the paedophilia and the murderer, the animal abuser, they are all a part of our consciousness too. We might not express it to that degree, but we still have the victim and the bully in us to one degree or another, which all piles up in the consciousness, the collective consciousness of the world, and affects us all. My love for myself and for humanity started with get yourself right, Hazel. Get yourself in a place of passion and joy, which is a higher reality. It comes from the higher self. Now, I'm not talking about missionary energy here. I'm not talking about saving anyone. I'm talking about truly coming from a place of joy. I'm not talking about withdrawing from humanity. I'm not talking about turning a blind eye to the abusiveness in this world. It goes on in families, behind closed doors, and it goes on in the larger world through governments abusing us, and all of that. I don't need to, give explicit pictures of that. But it starts with us. We truly, if we want to be the change in this world, we must get in control of our anger and our rage, transform it within us, and take it to a place of love. We cannot, as a human race, consciously evolve. All the time we are taking our anger into protests. All the time we are taking our rage out on murderers and paedophiles and those souls that come and live their lives in that way. They may be totally unconscious of why they do what they do. They might have deep, huge regret and can't get to grips with why they act out what they act out. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying we need to look at the bigger picture. It's sometimes when people are so unconscious, it's like saying to a blind man, someone who's physically blind, well, what a twit you are. Couldn't you see that chair that you tripped over? No matter how much you want them to see the chair, they're just not going to be able to see it. And so it is with some of the perpetrators of the evil in our world. They just do not see that they are being cruel, that they are being torturers. They just do not see it. And this is what really helped me to get past myself. That many human souls come to this earth with templates in place, blind spots that they're working throughout their whole life and maybe through many, many lifetimes. I'm not condoning their actions. I'm not saying we shouldn't lock them away from the world at large, because I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us and our anger and our disgust. How we can reframe it so that we can consciously evolve, so that we can live from what is known as the fifth dimension. Because if that is what is in your heart, to live from love, you're not going to pass through that gateway with anger and rage at these outer circumstances and at the people that perpetrate the most torturous and evil of acts. We're not going to change that with anger and rage and protests that come from that level within ourselves. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you've grasped, what I'm trying to put across here, and I'd love to hear your viewpoints on what I've said. And if you would like help in understanding this within yourself, then, I'm available. My name is Hazel Moore. I'm the founder of Spiritual Mastery, and it is my passion to help humanity, to help people get to grips with their anger and their rage and to channel it in a productive, be the change way. Much love to you all.